Good morning. It is rainy and crappy and perfect football weather. Speaking of football, I love the chess match of football. So, let's get into it. I don't know how long this video is going to be. It probably might be shorter. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thumbs up, please. And give me your comments on what your thoughts. But my today's topic is going to be on the scariest players of all time. So mainly this is going to concentrate on defense, but the scariest players of all time. And again, this is going off what things I've heard, things I've talked about, things I've read. So this is, again, an opinion. So give me your comments if you agree, disagree, that's fine. But number one has to be Lawrence Taylor. He talked a crap load of smack. He never stopped talking. And there was a running back that was a rookie. I believe it was Eric Dickerson. I'm not 100% sure on the name anymore because it's been a while since I've heard the story. But the running back had an interview, and they asked him who was the person you feared going against the most, and he told the story. He said, I'll tell you what, this guy named Lawrence Taylor, who was an NFL linebacker, talked so much smack and so much stuff that he intimidated him, and he literally at the line of scrimmage changed the play to go to the other side to get away from him instead of go toward him. And he said that the guy was saying, do you belong in this league? Do you really think you can play? And blah, 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 blah. And just went off and just talked smack to everybody. And he's not the only guy I heard that from. Everybody said it. And after the game, of course, they said, you did good, appreciate you, and all that stuff. But yeah, that's something to be feared when players want to go away from you because you are so intimidating. And I'd put him at number one on the list. Number two, I would put Dick Butkus. He was an intense player that when he played, he tackled you and he walked away. He'd stay in your face for a minute, let you know that you're on the ground, you deserve to be on the ground, and then he would walk away. Not help you up, none of that stuff that they do nowadays. It's a respect thing, I get it. But Dick Butkus was so intense that when he tackled, he took you down, he stayed on you for a second, and then he walked away. And he was known for that. I do have one offensive player that I'm going to put on there, and that's number three. I'm going to put James Brown. He was a guy. And you can put a bunch of running backs in this category. Marshawn Lynch would be close to it. The Bus, Jerome Bettis. Just a bunch of people that could truck you over. Craig Hayward. But James Brown was playing in a time when the NFL was a run-first league. He is the only running back I'm going to actually put on this list. And again, I don't know how many I'm actually putting on here. It's not going to be a huge number. But James Brown was a player that ran around you and he ran through you. When he ran through you, he stiff-armed you, he tackled you, and he kept going. James Brown was just a beast of a running back. And again, you can throw other running backs in that category. That's why I'm only listing one. But Marshawn Lynch, James Brown, Jerome Bettis. There's a lot of players that can fit that category, but when they hit, Craig Hayward was a beast of a player. I mean, he was a north-south player that didn't do any fancy stuff. He was a straight up, I'm going up the middle, I dare you to try to tackle me, and he ran you over. So I'm throwing power running backs as number three. But James Brown was the top of the list as far as what I understand. And Craig Hayward, I'd probably put number two, then Jerome Bettis, and blah, blah, blah. But anyway, but I put them all in the same category. Number four, I would put Ndamukong Suh. Now, is he a beast as far as how good he was? I think he's very, very good. But the reason why he's on this list is a lot different than everybody else on this list, and that's because he is known for cheap shotting. He tackled Aaron Rodgers on a sack, and in the process, he turned around and stomped on a lineman's leg and pretty much took him out of the game for a while, just because he was mad. He's an intense player that gets angry easy and lets his anger get the best of him. He's a very, very solid defensive player. But the reason why he's on this list is because you never know if you're going to get a good side of him or if he's going to cheap shot you. And then my next one's going to be on this list too, and that's James Harrison. Very exceptionally good player. But again, he hit hard. And I'm not going to say he was a cheap shot artist, but he definitely had some hits that was extreme. So he has my respect on that. He got fined a lot too, and I think some of that was the fact, I mean, he's playing a game that was meant to play and asked to hit and hit hard. And he was feared because of that reason. Another one on the list, Ray Lewis. Just an extremely good player. If somebody's going to tackle you, it's going to be Ray Lewis. He was all over the field. He could tackle anybody. And there's a lot of people I could put on the list. But he was just a really, really good player. Now, he had some trouble at the beginning of his career. I'm talking about on the field, that's it. I'm not trying to get off the field with any of the off-the-field issues. I'm just talking about most feared players. And some of it's just because of pure talent. And Ray Lewis is one of those pure talent. My next one's another one that I'm going to actually tie. But that's going to be Reggie White, Bill Smith. Reggie White, that played for the Packers. Sorry, I had a brain fart for a second. Packers, and he also played for the Eagles. And I feel like there was somebody else I'm missing. And Bill Smith, who played for the Buffalo Bills. Both of those guys were sack artists and just flew to the ball. Both guys were on good defenses with really good defensive lines that could really stomp up an offensive line. And especially the Packers 3-4 defense, where you had 3 front linemen and Reggie White was on the end. You just couldn't stop him. He led the league in sacks for a long time, and I think it still stands. There's been people getting close, and Bill Smith is another one. Bruce Smith, that's it. I knew I was saying that wrong. He played for the Bills. His name was Bruce Smith. Okay. Just really, really good sack artists. And they were all over the field. For a defensive lineman, they were all over the field. And I'm going to have one more. And I am going to put Eric Turner on this list. He played for the Browns. And again, there's several people you can put on this list. And it's interchangeable. I get there's some people that know some older players than I do. That's my disclaimer, is I'm from a newer generation. I threw some old people on there. I mean, there's a lot of people that was thrown in the same list. Richard Dent, Ken Harvey. The list goes on. But the last one's Eric Turner. And again, this is my personal personal top whatever list. I've lost count. I think it's 10, but I don't know. Realistically, it's probably about 20, but you know. Several people you can put on the categories. But I would say Eric Turner. He was a safety. And you can put Ronnie Lott in this list too. The guys could hit. Holy cow, they could hit. Eric Turner was one of those guys, he never really wrapped you and tackled you. He just hit you and you dropped the ball. caused a lot of fumbles. But this is my list. This is my top 10 list, so to speak, of most feared guys in the NFL that I know about lifetime. And I'm sure there's others. Please leave in the comments some other ones you're thinking of. Sorry there's no flashy pictures on the screen. But I want to do a video. I'm all about football. I'm in football season, so give me your thoughts. Like, don't like, agree, disagree. Let me know. Those are some of the hardest hitters I know of. Those are some of the hardest players I know of, cheap shot artists, and most feared players I know of. I mean, when you're running back and you're running and you know the guy's going to run you over and you still got to tackle him, the sweat starts ticking off really quick. So anyway, that's my top list. Like, share, subscribe. Leave your comments. What do you think? And I will catch you guys later. Have a great day.